First, before anything else, we need to discuss the location in which Let Me In was filmed. It was in Iceland, a very cold, harsh place. This setting is central to the meaning behind Hassel's video. Winter, in the seasonal timeline of life, represents sadness, bleakness, death, or an end to things. Winter is the last season before the earth is reborn with the coming of spring. For those of you who live in places with annual winters, you know that winds can be bitter, cold, and unforgiving, and that the season overall is not warm, it is very harsh. This in turn reflects Hassel's heart right now, and how she internally is feeling. She is having an internal conflict with herself, and perhaps her role in the universe. Remember, Heejin desires a vivid, vibrant world, and Hassel's cold environment of heart and conflict does not reflect this. After Hassel says, "Inside my heart, the place that's deep and dark, you barged in then, this eye opens." Who barged in? Let's look at the scene in accordance with the lyrics Hassel just sang. "It can't be a coincidence," she says as she gets out of the car. But, look! What are those lined up in a perfect little path? That is a perfect pathway of diamonds in a straight row. Now that can't be a coincidence. The truck dropping her off being yellow can't be a coincidence either. At this point, we know yellow represents Yeonjin. But why did Yeonjin bring Hassel to this place? Hassel knows this can't be a coincidence either. What conflict is she to overcome? Sorry to keep stopping the video so early. There's just so much to cover. Let's look at what diamonds represent. They were believed by the Greeks to be the tears of the gods. They symbolize purity and innocence due to their beauty and rarity, and when seen, they encourage the aspect of truth and trust. I would also like to add that, in earlier civilizations, the diamond was seen as the magical intermediary between man and the unforeseen forces of nature that define his fate. Perhaps when Hassel wields the diamonds, she gains control over her fate. I believe that is why she is gathering them as a weapon, for she is smart and growing confident in herself. Let's see what our green girl will do with them once she picks them up. An airplane? In the middle of Iceland? It's more likely than you think. An airplane that has crashed can represent lack of confidence or not believing in one's abilities. It can also mean that something in your life is in danger of ending quickly. These symbolic meanings coincide with the environment she is in. As we said before, winter represents death, bleakness, and end. It is harsh, bitter, and unforgiving for all life. Animals hibernate, leaves fall and die, the sun barely shines. Winter is hard for living things. But, again, why would Hassel feel so melancholy? Why is she losing faith in herself? Perhaps when she takes it upon herself to hunt for the diamonds, she is trying to accumulate information about a truth unbeknownst to her. Wait, what just happened? Let's look at it a bit slower. First, we saw Hassel sitting atop the airplane. This could represent her trying to control it by sitting down on it. We next see her standing in a smog-filled field, covered with snow, but with some greenery rising through. Life is coming back into the bleak, cold winter. This shows that Hassel is going along with her trying to control her lack of self-confidence, burgeoning and growing, much like a spring flower. The winter is melting to allow life back into her. But then, she sees the diamonds. Hassel turns towards the mountains. And who does she find? Okay, we have to slow that down again. First, the camera focuses on Hazel. She seems like she's seeing something, as if someone is beckoning to find or follow them from the trails of diamonds they left. We then see the dove, or Hazel, herself, as the dove. Next, we see a diamond behind a rock, then Hazel the dove with a diamond over her head. I believe the diamond over her head, after seeing the diamond behind the rock, is signaling to the real Hazel that the dove Hazel is behind a rock. The real Hazel needs to find the dove. That's why the dove has left the trails, has sent Hazel subconscious messages. The dove needs to be found. I really feel bad for stopping as much as I am, but let me in has many things we need to look at. For instance, the frame that we stopped at. A diamond over Hazel's left eye? If we go back, we can see the dove Hazel had one as well. Why the left? Not the right like Asian spider? Let's review that transition. We see Hazel in the smog-filled greenery, which we established that it reflects her growth, life, and burgeoning, much like the rebirth of spring. We see her here after the diamond was over her eye. Then, it quickly flashes to Hazel in a dark, icy, frigid place. This means that something is about to end, as winter is representative of death in the seasonal timeline of life. Something drastic is about to happen, something is about to die. Let's talk about the ice. Ice is the frigid, rigid state of water. This is a drastic difference between the fluid, lively movement of flowing waters, much like the ones in paradise. Its coldness, absence of life and movement, and difficult texture are not conducive for human life. Ice is only present in winter, when the animals hibernate, when the trees turn bare, and when the sun is always hidden. This is a time of year in which life physically cannot flourish. Ice is also somewhat of an impenetrable source. It is hard to break through, slippery, and painful. So what does this have to do with Hazel? Well, we can connect the actual environmental climate to the climate of her soul right now. She is in inner conflict, one in which she has lack of confidence and a cold approach. She is seeking truth, or utilizing a truth she has just learned in attempt to find peace. Remember the dove eye that opened after she said it and marched into her dark heart? Let's discuss that. I'm sure you all know what doves are representative of, but in case you don't, I'll tell you. First and foremost, doves are most known to represent peace. In the story of Noah's Ark, Noah sent a dove out to see if the waters had subsided. When the dove came back with an olive branch in its beak, Noah knew that the waters had abated, and that all was at peace between the heavens and earth. They also represent peace of the soul and baptism. Doves can be linked to freedom, as they were the one animal allowed to leave the ark, and are also known to bring messages of salvation. With this knowledge, we can infer that the dove Hazel is seeing is one of two things. 1. It is a manifestation of her inner turmoil, or 2. It is an extension of peace from Eden. I personally believe it has a double meaning in Hazel's lore. Back to doves. The eyes of doves, or the saying, "Thou hast dove eyes," is important here as well. Doves are lovebirds, and are often released in matrimony. When one finds a partner, they stay faithful to their one mate, much like the ideals and vows of the bride and groom. So, the eyes of doves reveal the connectedness between lovers. Think, the girl is the boy's girl, or that Hazel keeps stating that her and her half are the same being. These eyes of doves only look to their mate, just as Christians only look to their God, just as people only look to their king. The dove's eye open on her right, but Hazel say the diamond with her left. And we know exactly who has relations with their left eyes. Cherry, Vivi, and Olivia are all girls who have encountered sin, and who have rejected the ideals of Eden. So Hazel seeing the diamond with this same eye means that she is looking for truth, or that her dove eyes are clairvoyant, and can see the future events that will unfold. This scene is used more to outline the parallels. A small paper airplane lands beside the crashed plane, comparing the death and decay of something to a new arrival and invitation. We will learn who sends the paper airplane later. For now, I feel as though I should briefly discuss the story of the little prince. Hazel stated in a Loona TV episode that her photo shoot concept was based off the story of the little prince. It's a rather popular story that was written to critique societal flaw. In the story, the narrator lands on Earth and later encounters the little prince. The narrator was a pilot, and his plane had crashed far from civilization. The prince and narrator then meet, as they are the only two in that general area. But, now that I mentioned it, isn't Hazel's video a lot like the events in Little Prince? Her plane, which is what had brought her to the Loonaverse, is just like the narrator's. Both the narrator and Hazel land in a bleak, decaying land, far from civilization. However, in Hazel's case, we can assume Yunjin manifested her here after creating green. That is why Hazel is ushered in with the yellow truck. In The Little Prince, there is a yellow snake met by the little prince, and it offers to bring him home if he ever wished to return. Interesting to note that Yunjin's yellow is what brought Hazel home, into the Loonaverse. So the parallel outline reflects the broken down airplane that had brought Hazel here, and the new, dainty invitation that will bring her to her fate in future. This will trigger the domino effect needed for all girls to come together. We pause here to look at the scene alongside the lyrics. Here, at this frame, Hazel says, "You there, knocking." She is saying this in reference to the dove, or the little prince. They act as an intruder, something to try and penetrate the cold, icy walls that she has built. The next lyric she says is, "I hesitate," meaning she's hesitant to let the dove in. She is hesitant to allow the extension of peace from the Eden girls get to her. She also is afraid to allow freedom into her life. If she takes this opportunity, she can be free like the other Eden girls. If she allows the fleeting dove in, it can melt away, the frigid ice enveloping her soul and being. Obviously, this is a scary thing. Much like the narrator in The Little Prince, the regular Hazel is questioned by the deaf Hazel, which represents the little prince. This is why the normal Hazel has the diamond over her left eye, for she knows the truth about this world and what can happen if she were to give in to temptation or deceit. Again, we are pausing to look at this alongside the lyrics. Normal Hazel and deaf Hazel just looked at each other with their deaf eyes, as they are inseparable, and only have eyes for each other, their other half. Remember what we said about doves and their faithfulness? Now, Hazel asks, "Will I be you? Or will you be me?" This does pose a pressing question. Which aspect of Hazel will reign supreme? Will her desire for truth, or will the beckoning extension of peace pull her in by flaw of human nature? In case you haven't realized, the scenes where deaf Hazel is walking through a snowy darkness is actually Hazel's heart. Shocking, I know. Remember how Hazel says her heart will grow cold again, and that she needs the truth and inner peace to defrost it? And also that she wants a flower to thrive amongst the cold? The dove, who is basically Hazel's other half, offers peace and ease on her soul, freedom, and healing when she attempts to enter normal Hazel's heart. But Hazel cannot accept, especially not since she knows the truth that lies ahead, and that she also, like the narrator in The Little Prince, cannot get the deaf Hazel to answer. The questions Hazel has about the deaf's world, which is Eden, the place Hazel is supposed to reside. As the Eden girls try to warm up Hazel and allow her to grow, she cannot justify why being in Eden is the right choice. She won't be able to until she finds answers. But, as both Hassel's are extensions and reflections of the combined total being of Hassel, I believe that the answer she is looking for is within herself. She must look for it on her own. Does this mean that she will though? Okay, a lot just happened. Let's review what we just saw. First, did you notice the climate change? The ice and snow have melted, and the earth is being replenished by rain. Rain allows for plants to drink, and things to grow. We are now witnessing Hassel's guards being melted away, as she is going to make a decisive decision. The lyrics then also say, looking more like you, becoming more used to you. Solely, your girl. Why is this important? This is like a declaration from Hassel to herself that she only thinks for herself and will not be swayed by messages or offers from others. What she believes is what she believes. We then see Hassel running towards her target, the olive branch extended by the Eden girls, one that would heal her, embrace her, and offer her peace. She drops 4 diamonds, each one representing a 1/3 girl, and Hassel's disregard for their offers or opinions. This leaves one shot to get this right, and to end this inner turmoil for Hassel once and for all. Then, just as she takes aim, Hassel utters the words,
Je ne sais même pas par où commencer.
This, translated, means, I don't even know where to begin. Why would she say that before shooting her dove counterpart? Well, what she is about to do is a direct refusal of the dove, which is furthermore a direct refusal of peace and contentment. Hassel has begun to think for herself after seeing the truth. She may not know definitively, but she knows that she must do this. The conflict within herself will not fade, just as it unclearly came about as well. She doesn't know where to start when fixing her broken wings or figuring out where she stands. All she knows is that she must pursue her own original thoughts and feelings. And this rejection of the olive branch is one of them. Hassel now stands amidst her melting heart, holding the olive branch that she had shot down. In my opinion, this shows that the dove being her physical counterpart was a figment of her imagination, and that she just saw her turmoil in the meaning of the dove. That is why, at the end, while standing in the foggy, rainy, and melting environment, Hassel whispers wish while holding the dead dove. The meaning of her uttering wish is a bit varied. In my opinion though, she wishes she hadn't killed the innocent, pure, and peaceful bird. It was just looking for the mate that it was destined to be faithful to, yet, when it crossed paths with the defiant girl, met its cruel fate. It is just in Hassel's human nature to show remorse for the selfish act she just committed. But now, in her clairvoyant and truthful eyes, she has forbidden the extension of peace, and rejected it by destroying it.
Is it you, baby? 꿈꿔왔던 작은 소원.
I know I said that I would omit the carol, except from making a few points. Basically, the carol alludes to the next girl, as it came out a month before Eugene was revealed. Anyway, remember what this present looks like. a prince. This will be an important symbol in the future as well.
It's you, baby. 꿈꿔왔던 작은 소원. 너만 함께 있어준다면 only you. 귓가의 종소리도 기다리나요 눈도 내 맘 가득 쌓여가 우리 둘만의 It's Christmas time. 기분만 설레임에 나만의 소원을 빌며 잠들면 안 돼 밤새 기다린 추억들이 떠올라.
Who does Hazel see in the window? We won't find out until much later, but nonetheless, I needed to point it out.
반짝거리는 작은 불빛 나득하지만
Again, another regal item that I pointed out. Keep this item in mind as well. It's rather beautiful, though, no?